Hello, world. Welcome to the grind. Today we got one of my good friends, one of my training buddies from down in Tampa, Ryne Stanek, on today. What's up, man?
How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm happy that you could come on here today. You're on your week off, so I appreciate you joining us at that point. It's the All-Star break, and you get to
Yeah.
relax in Tampa for a few days. So I'm sure that's a nice little break.
Yeah.
So tell us about, like, because obviously for me being from England, not knowing a lot about baseball, how do you have to go to like college? How's the system? Because obviously with school with the NFL, you have to go to college and
Yeah.
you get drafted, etc. So just give us a little insight
You need
of how
need
that
some
works.
baseball perspective on the world.
Yeah.
You're reading through your bio, and there's just so much going on there. So I'm interested in what the heck you were doing, traveling all over.
Yeah. Baseball is kind of a weird one because obviously it's super international. It's a lot like football. I mean European football, not American football.
Yeah, exactly. The proper football, right?
Yeah.
That's points for calling
like,
it that too, Jordan.
Yeah. Because like in the States, as an American born player, you can get drafted out of high school, or you can go to college for a couple years. Like sometimes if you're old enough, you can be 2, but if you're not a certain age by the draft, it's 3 years. But then like internationally, they can sign from like I don't know exactly how like the Asian countries do it. I know that they like typically go play in their professional leagues first, and then they have to be almost like bought out of their contracts over there. I don't know exactly how they work, but like I know like the Latin players can be signed like out of the team's academies and everything at like 16. So it's kind of a wild array of ways to get into professional baseball.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you got drafted out of high school and decided not to go. Like what's that decision like? Is there a certain round that you want to go in before you say go? You want to do it, or did you want to develop more? What's the thought process on that kind of thing?
That was a lot of like I guess like a money issue more so than anything. Like we had like me and my family had like a specific dollar amount that like we like basically decided that would be worth it to skip college and like skip like going where I wanted to go play for school to go play professionally.
Okay.
And like we had set the bar at like $1 million at 18 to like, because like that's basically what I valued, like going to college, the ability to play in college and Omaha, like go to College World Series and go to Omaha, do all that stuff.
Okay.
So like we basically like kind of set that bar and like, okay, if we get this, great. If we don't get it, also great. We're going to go to school. And didn't like I got taken to the 3rd round by Seattle, didn't quite get the money that was hoping for, so chose to go to college and like I loved it. Like I valued going to college and playing at Arkansas like pretty highly. So that was something that I knew I wanted to do, and if I was going to skip that, I wanted it to be like financially worth it. And so ended up going to college and then got drafted again by Tampa in the 1st round in 13. So I got to go to college and I got to go to Omaha, played for the collegiate national team for Team USA twice. Like I did a lot of really cool things. So like I loved my college experience. I thought it was awesome. Like I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. Sounds like you did a good job of having a process that you went through and talking it through with your family. It seems like you guys did a good job of deciding.
Yeah. So when you get drafted, I'm correct, when you go to the minors first. You never there's never been like players that go to the majors just because of their ability. It's always you have to go to the minors and then kind of get your way up.
Yeah, for the most part. There's a handful of guys that like haven't, but like it's not very common. Like shoot, I think Mike Leake, he was a pitcher that came out of Arizona State. I don't think he might have had like 1 game in the minor leagues or something like that. Like it like very rarely do you get a guy that just like skips all the levels, because there's a lot of them. There's like, if you break it down, there's a rookie ball, like a short season, like typically it's called the Gulf Coast League or the Arizona League, like whatever. And so yeah, you'll go like the Gulf Coast League, and then you'll go to another short season team, which is like basically like a second half of the year type team.
Okay.
A lot of like more of a developmental league, a little bit. And then like some teams have a second development team or the short season team, and then you go low A, high A, double A, triple A, and then the big leagues. So most of the time there's like 6 levels that most guys go through before they even get a chance to play in the big leagues. And that's if they survive basically the attrition rate at each level.
Yeah.
Right. I saw, was just reading up and things that I didn't really know about you, admittedly. Like we got Cape Cod, Bowling Green Hot Rods, Charlotte Stone Crabs, Montgomery Biscuits. I never even heard of that. Durham Bulls. Like you played on so many different teams, and the Astros, Rays, Miami Marlins. Like, what is that like moving around so much? And that's tough, man. Moving around and trying to still develop relationships. You got a wife now, and that's great that you were able to still develop a relationship through all that moving. That was something that I struggled with. Like, did you move on? I feel like I lived out of my car for half that time. What was that grind like? This is the grind. We want to talk about certain things like that. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was a lot because right off the bat, like I went to right after college, I actually went to Port Charlotte where our spring training facility was, or our like whatever our training facility for the Rays was. Mm-hmm. And I actually had to have surgery right off the bat because I had a torn labrum in my hip. So I had surgery right away, rehab from that, missed basically like first professional, like the half of a professional season that was going to be there. And then the next year, I missed like a little bit of time right before still coming back from the same surgery. And then went to Bowling Green, played there for half a season, and then got called up to Port Charlotte, which is high A. So I had to move each year. Basically, I started at a level, got called up, and then the next year I would repeat that same level for the first like month and a half, 2 months, and then get called up. I basically did that every year. So like I always had to do multiple moves every season, which sucked. Honestly, it's so much. You just had to pack up your whole life and move to another city, and it's always a drive. It was like went from Bowling Green to Port Charlotte. That was like 12-hour drive after like in one day to get there. And then Port Charlotte to Montgomery, Alabama was like another 12 hours. And then from Alabama to Durham the next year was like 10 or 8 to 10, I think. I don't remember exactly. And then it's like, okay, yeah, finally you get to the big leagues and you're like, all right, well, you don't know how long you're going to stay. Like, cause a lot of people get like called up for a week and then sent back down, and then like you're moving back and forth. So you never truly settled until you like establish yourself in the big leagues. And then I did that. And then I got traded to Miami. And then, and then I ended up after last season getting non-tendered in like the arbitration process. And then I signed as a free agent with Houston. So I had to move again. So it's been a lot.
Crazy,
and
right?
especially with my wife now, and like she's pregnant and we got moves and all kinds of stuff going on. So like we're getting all of our life situated in Tampa to get ready for the baby, while also like being 1,000 miles away in Houston at the same time. So there's always something going on with us right now.
Right. And none of that was baseball, right? Like
no.
Shows you how hard it is and can be to be a pro athlete. Like you're moving all over the place. You show up, and I'm sure it was like pitch the next day, probably in a lot of those places.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And like that's the thing that I feel like a lot of people don't realize is like the game itself is not the easy part, but like the simple part. Right. Like all like the game is the game. Like it's like you lived it, you played, like, and you've been on different teams. Like you show up and like the one constant is the job. Yep, so you go out there and you do your job and you play and you train. And then like everybody expects like that nothing else can affect you, like moves and family stuff. Like they expect you to basically be a robot and just do your job regardless of anything else going on in your life. And then you're like, well, I have a normal life to live as well that I'm trying to like fit around my job.
Right.
And so, yeah, you gotta manipulate like all the things around your life to to like succeed in your job and in life.
Yep.
So you know when you're coming through the stages of like A, low A, high A, when you get to the majors, even doesn't matter about your age, are you still classed as a rookie?
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one in baseball, because like if you once you accrue like service time, like typically I think like by the league's definition of it, I think it's like once you hit like a certain amount of like games played or at bats or innings or whatever, you lose your rookie status. But in the clubhouse, like it's like a fine line. Depends on like if you get a full year. Some people consider after you get a full season of service time, even if it's broken up, they stop looking at you as like a rookie. But some people, if you're kind of a dingus and you're not able to handle yourself very well, like they'll consider you a rookie for a couple years. And then sometimes it's like you have 3 years at like minimum, basically like you're 0 to 3 years before you get in arbitration. Some people consider that rookie. Like it's all tiered. Like they're basically, you're considered, everything's all tiered based on like what other people think of you.
So do you have to do like rookie things? Like, so when I was a rookie, I'd have to obviously get all the tea and get all the food and clean boots and all that kind of stuff. Is it the same?
Yeah. It's a little different. Like it'll just be like little things. It's like they have to carry, like when I was a rookie, it's like I had to carry this big speaker that we brought from field to field. Like it's like a big clubhouse speaker. So like I would carry it and it was like 3 foot tall and I had to carry that around all the time. Or like maybe like grab waters or beers or something like that for the plane, or just little things that like, it's like, hey, like you're not here. You haven't been here very long. Like
stay grounded.
Do some of this. Yeah. Do some of this. And then as soon as like you move past that like initial stage, it's the next guy up's like turn basically, which is good. It's kind of like you earn your stripes and you earn a little bit of respect as you go. Like, especially if you just take care of your business and don't complain and you just be a good dude and like responsible. You do those things, people respect you for taking care of your business. And then it's the next guy's turn to prove that he can take care of his business, that nobody's going to be like a liability for the team.
Exactly. To make sure they're trustworthy, right? When it comes when it boils down to when you go into war.
For sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, well, we got one more question for you.
That's right. The most important one. This is the most important one. Go on, Skuta. You can ask it.
In our first show, we had a bit of a debate between Jordan and myself. What was harder, football or football? And of course, we're both arguing for our side. But now we have a baseball player.
It's a good start because it's neutral. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, Stanek, what do you think? Football or football? Which one is harder in your mind to go out there and ball?
I don't know. Like, it's like anybody can go out there and play and attempt to play any sport at a high level. Like, to play football, like American football at a high level, you basically have to be a freak of nature. Like, you have to be like an absolute like mongoloid, more or less. Like, but like also to play.
That's
like
what he thought of me while he's training with me.
Yeah, like big old Shrek looking guy over here. but to play like European football, like the amount of like cardio and endurance that you have to have is also not normal. Like right. I don't really know, because it's one is very, very like, I feel like form based, and one is very like physical brute force based, and like it's hard to judge that, because like I play a game that's so fine motor skill, like that, like you can go out there and like mess around and like swing a bat or whatever, and like there's no chance that most dudes in other sports could like look competent doing it. Right. But like it's all I don't know, it's all the nuance that goes into all the sports that make them so damn difficult. So I don't know, like
that's spoken like a true athlete. I respect that.
Yeah, like it's like I respect the difficulty in all sports, because like I know what it takes to do it at the highest level, and like no matter what anybody says, there's no easy sport to play at the highest level, because the game looks so easy for everybody that does it at that level, because you've been putting your body and mind into it for 2+ decades, and you're like, I've pushed myself to a certain level that most people have never dreamed to push themselves to at anything. And the people that did do it the best they're a different breed of human. Like realistically, like it's like just to get there is a testament to so much work. But like to stay and be the best and continue to be the best and be better than everybody else that's trying to beat you is mind blowing. It's because everybody out there is trying to take your job. It's like, you guys know it, that you played. It's like all the guys that are younger than you, they're trying to take your job at all times. And your job is to fend them off and basically go, I'm gonna put you back in your place, because like this is my job until I don't want it. And that's it's grindy. It really is.
It's the grind.
That's what it's called, the grind. You gotta grind every single day. And we really appreciate that, Ryne, and thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for coming on.
We'll have to have you on another time.
Anytime.
Enjoy the rest of your off week. I know you don't got much left, but have a safe flight back to Houston. Good luck for the rest of the season, man.
Yeah, stay healthy, man.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, man.
Of course.